the lookup function. So the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions allow you to look up larger lists or lists where you need to choose within a range of values. So the VLOOKUP refers to vertical and H for horizontal. The function requires 3 arguments: a value to look up, in this case we'll look up our gross pay, a place to look up, usually a table of values. We're going to look up our gross pay down the salary, and we want to return the rate, so usually the position within the table to look up. Now, just to give you a little bit of a word of warning, usually you wouldn't have your data table in with your calculation table, just in case it accidentally gets amended. You'd usually have it on another worksheet. So when we use our VLOOKUP, we're going to use our lookup and references. Once we scroll down, what we need to look for is our VLOOKUP. When we hover, we can use our VLOOKUP. It gives you a little bit of information. So it's just like a tag. So it looks for the value in the leftmost column of a table. So what VLOOKUP does, I'm just going to cancel this. So the example we're looking for, we want to look up the gross pay and return the tax rate. The tax rate comes from the second column within the table. So we're looking up the gross rate, which is the salary. The salary is in a sliding scale, and as you can see, the salary is not exact, 0 to 500. So any salary 375 below the 500 mark will give us a 0% rate return. So I'm going to use my VLOOKUP, lookup and references, VLOOKUP. What am I looking up? So I'm looking up my gross pay. Where am I looking it up? Well, I'm looking it up in my table. So I want to look down this table. What column do I want to return from? Do I want to return from column 1 or column 2? If I put in the number 1, it will return the salary. By putting in the number 2, it's going to look down the salary column, it's going to find the closest value, and it's going to return the rate. So if I say return from the second column and I click on OK, I get 0%. So I'm going to check that, 375, 0%. I'm going to just double click and copy down. Why have I got NA, which is not applicable? So what I've done is I need to lock using my absolute cell addressing, remember the F4, and then I'll copy down and it will fill for me. So you must use your absolute with your tax table. And what you do have to be careful of is, in fact, what would be better is actually naming the range. We'll come and do name define a little bit later in the workbook. So we've got our tax rate, we've got our VLOOKUP. The VLOOKUP looked at the leftmost column, so the left adjacent column. It looked up the gross pay, down the salary, and returned the tax rate from the second column.